St. Francis University taking on Olivet Nazarene University. It's game 2 of a doubleheader, and St. Francis was victorious in game 1 by a final score of 4-0. Kevin Mampy was brilliant in a complete game 2-hit shutout. Mampy out in the field in game 2. Let me get you the rest of the starters. We'll start with the visiting Olivet Nazarene Tigers. Alex Campy leads off, playing left field. Batting second, center fielder R.W. Reno. Curtis Minton hits third and does the catching. Ben Hill is at first base. Batting fifth, the third baseman, Sam Kippen. Jacob Boltice is in right field. Batting seventh, second baseman, Nathan Moonen. Carter Ferguson is the designated hitter. And batting ninth, the shortstop, Ryan Campbell. Starting pitcher for Olivet Nazarene in this second game is Kenuel Dominguez, the ace of the staff. So the Saints will have their work cut out for them on the offensive side, and I'll tell you about their offensive lineup in just a moment. But let me tell you first about their starting pitcher because he's ready to go. Right-hander John Reardon is on the mound making the start. He goes into the windup. His first pitch is over for a strike, and we're underway at 3:23 p.m. Central Daylight Time. 0-1 on Alex Campy. John Reardon on the season has started 8 games. He's 3-2 with a 5.20 earned run average. His 0-1 pitch, taken for a strike. In 45 innings, he's allowed 29 runs, 26 of them earned on 52 hits, 40 strikeouts, only 18 walks. Opponent's batting .278 against Mr. Reardon this year. John started at second base in game 1, had a really nice game defensively. Went 0 for 3 at the plate. He won't bat here in game 2. But he's off to a good start pitching. Swing and a miss, a 3-pitch strikeout of Alex Campy. 1 up, 1 down in the top of the first. Let me take this moment to tell you about who else is playing for St. Francis. Their leadoff batter is right fielder Travis Schoonover. Batting second, center fielder Pat Mahalik. Kevin Mampy is at shortstop. Anthony Farron hits cleanup, playing first base. Kevin Rada bats fifth and does the catching. Hitting sixth, third baseman Michael Queerum. Batting seventh is Sean Harper. Harper's in left. The designated hitter is number 13, Nick Dabrowski. And hitting ninth, second baseman Johnny Peterson. The batter right now is R.J. Reno, and he takes the ball outside. The count is 2-0. Showed bunt on the first pitch, but pulled the bat back in time. After a 3-pitch strikeout against the first batter, Reardon falls behind the number 2 man, 2-0. And now 3-0. 3 straight strikes, now 3 straight balls. R.J. Reno, game 1 of the doubleheader, went 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Kevin Mampy finished that game with 9 Ks. Struck out 7 of the 9 players in the lineup at the end of the game. There's a strike across the belt, 3-1. Only player with a hit in that first game was Nathan Moonen. He went 2 for 2 with a walk. The rest of the team was 0 for 21. Swing and a miss, strike 2, count is full. 0 for 21, I suppose I should note, with 2 walks. Mampy did walk 3 batters in that game. Only gave up the 2 hits. Here comes the payoff pitch to Reno. Ball 4 high. Frustrating walk for Reardon. Fell behind him 3-0. Came back. Loaded up the count. Only to lose him anyway. Ball 4. A strikeout and a walk begin the game. And now it's Curtis Minton with a man on base.
Fielder, number 7, R.W. Reno.
Minton was the starting left fielder in game 1. And now he's behind the plate in game 2. It's not a transition you often see, but he is listed on the roster as a catcher/outfielder. So he handles both roles and does so regularly. Ball in the dirt. It skips away from Kevin Rada, and Reno advances to second base on the wild pitch. So control has suddenly been an issue for John Reardon. After striking out Alex Campy on 3 pitches, he's missed on 5 of his last 7, including a wild pitch. And for Reardon, that is the 6th wild pitch of the season. This ball is lifted out to right field. Schoonover chases it towards the line, pulls up in fair territory, and makes the catch. That's the second out. Advancing to third base is Reno. So Minton advances the runner on his fly out to right, but with 2 outs, Ben Hill is going to need to come up with something here in order to get this run in. Well, a wild pitch was a little frustrating for Reardon. It turns into a 2-base wild pitch, because if Reno were still at first base on that flyout, he would not have been able to advance to second base. But if he can retire Ben Hill, it won't really matter very much. Hill had a successful game 1. Takes ball 1 low. Successful is a relative term in this case because, as I said a moment ago, Nathan Moonen was the only player with a hit. But he made solid contact a couple of times and walked once. Hill was robbed on the warning track by a diving Sean Harper in left field in his final at-bat of game 1. Takes the ball high here, 2-0. No hits in the inning for Olivet, but they've got a man at third base thanks to a walk, a wild pitch, and a runner advancement on a flyout. Now 2-0 on Hill. Swung on, popped up, foul ground behind home plate. Rada back towards the screen. Will he have room? No. Lands in the third row of seating, just over the netting. Count is 2-1. Not a lot of foul territory at this ballpark. The catcher knows that. Going back after that ball, it's got to be right near home plate or there's not going to be a play on it, and that was the case there. Out of play in the third row seats. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Ball low, 3-1. Well, he's throwing more balls than strikes this inning. But he is just one good pitch away from getting out of the inning. Sixteenth pitch coming up overall for John Reardon. The 3-1. Driven out to center field. That sends Mahalik chasing it towards the gap, and he's able to make the running catch. Down in right center, Mahalik makes a nice grab, ending the inning and leaving a man at third base. Olivet Nazarene does not get a hit. They do not get a run. They leave a man at third. We head to the bottom of the first inning. Saints coming up to bat for the first time in a scoreless tie. Kenuel Dominguez finishes up his warm-up tosses as we get set to begin the bottom of the first inning. Dominguez 4-1 with a 2.93 ERA this season. He's making his 8th start. In 43 innings pitched, he's allowed 16 runs, 14 of them earned on 39 hits. Excuse me, he's struck out 34. He's walked only 9. He's batting .255 against the junior from Puerto Rico this season. He faces Travis Schoonover to begin the frame. First pitch to Schoonover, hits the outside corner for strike 1. Schoonover had a big first game. Reached on an error in the first inning. It was later changed after the game ended to a double. So he reached base 3 times with a single, a double, and a walk. Scored 2 runs, 2 of the 4. Fouled back. The count is 0-2. And this for a guy who didn't need a whole lot of help to his statistics. He came in batting .347. Ball way outside, 1-2. Travis Schoonover, Pat Mahalik, Kevin Mampy due up this inning. Farron, Rada, Quirum, Harper, Dabrowski, and Peterson make up the rest of Brian Mahalik's starting 9. There's a soft liner to third. Easy catch made by Sam Kippen for out number 1. It is a bright and sunny but very chilly day in Crestwood, Illinois today. 39 degrees currently showing on the scoreboard. It's not bad. And game 1 of this doubleheader started 2.5 hours ago. Temperature gauge read 34 degrees. So I'll take 39 right now. Ball outside, 1-0 on Pat Mahalik, who had the biggest hit. I guess you could argue that it was the biggest hit of game 1. A 2-run homer in the second inning. That doubled the Saints' lead from 2 to 4-0. Ball low, the count is 2-0. You can also make an argument that the biggest hit was Kevin Mampy's 2-run double in the first. That gave the Saints the lead in the first place. And that technically was the game winner. Strike over the outside edge, 2-1. In 8 innings pitched today, neither Kevin Mampy nor John Reardon has allowed a run. Strike over the outside edge, 2-2. So the St. Francis pitching staff off to a great start today. As for Olivet Nazarene, they've settled in nicely as well. Ball up and away, 3-2. This is their third pitcher that they've used. Game 1 was started by Graham Burke. He went 5 innings, and then Mason Madalinsky came in and pitched the final frame. Here's Kenuel Dominguez starting off this game 2. Fouled away, still 3-2. And ever since the Saints scored 2 runs in the first and 2 runs in the second in game 1, they've been held off the scoreboard, and in fact have just 1 hit over the 4 1/3 innings since then. Swing and a miss, strike 3, 2 down. Mahalik out in front of the off-speed pitch, and that'll bring up Kevin Mampy. First strikeout of the game for Dominguez, who had 34 and 43 innings coming in. Kevin Mampy had a huge game 1. Ball outside, 1-0. Through a complete game shutout, allowing just 2 hits. And he had 2 hits himself, including a 2-run double. Ball low, 2-0. Anytime you're a pitcher and you finish the game with as many hits as you gave up, chances are you've done a pretty good job. Popped up, shallow right field towards foul territory. Boltice chases it, and he's out of room. That's out of play. Count now 2-1 on Mampy. I suppose it's possible you can have a game where you have 10 hits at the plate, and you've given up 10 as well. Maybe you haven't done so great on the mound, but you've made up for it with your exquisite hitting. I think it's safe to say if you've got as many hits as you've allowed, you've probably had a good day both at the plate and on the mound. There's a fly ball out to deep left field. Campy started in. Now he goes back and makes the running catch at the edge of the warning track. He nearly paid for his misread on that ball. He took 1 step in, and if it had been just a split second longer, that's an extra base hit for Mampy. But Campy recovers in just enough time to make a nice running grab. 1-2-3, bottom half of the first. We'll head to inning number 2. No score in Crestwood. 1 inning down, 8 to play, and we got no score. Olivet Nazarene put a man at third base in the top of the first inning, but didn't get him in. St. Francis then went down in order. Here's Sam Kippen leading off the second and taking ball 1. John Reardon on the mound for St. Francis. Entered play today as the team leader in innings pitched with 45 of them. He misses high for ball 2. Kevin Mampy has surpassed that total now with his complete game in game 1. He's up to 49. That means Reardon just needs 4 innings in this second game to match him. There's a shallow fly left field. Backing up is Mampy. The shortstop makes the catch. 4 of the first 5 men retired. And here's Jacob Boltheis. Boltheis started game 1 at first base.
Right fielder, number
He went 0 for 3 at the
Jacob
plate with 2
Boltheis.
strikeouts. Game 2, he's playing right field. Flies this ball to right field, but foul and into the seats. Strike 1. Olivet Nazarene Tigers came into play today 4 games above 500, 17 and 13. Saints are 3 games below 500 at the start of play today. But St. Francis, who's got a better conference record, just barely better, but better just the same. Ball low, 1-1. Eight and 4 for the Saints coming in, 7 and 4 for the Tigers, and now of course those numbers are 9 and 4 and 7 and 5. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Ball 2. So with their game 1 win, Saints have guaranteed that they will remain ahead of Olivet in the conference standings at the end of play today. Ball outside, 3-1. Reardon has walked 1 today, and this is just the 6th hitter he's faced. It's the 3rd one to have seen a 3-ball count against him. Wind is blowing out hard to right field. Boltheis fouls it back, 3-2. It's blowing out to right field in game 1 as well. We saw 1 homer in that game. I didn't think we would see any with the cold weather. Fouled away, still 3-2, although aluminum bats have something to say about that. A little easier to hit the ball far in bad conditions with the aluminum than it is with wood. But the wind has picked up, I think, considerably since game 1. Just looking at the flags out in right field, they are gusting out now. This ball is hit in the air out to right field. Travis Schoonover comes in and puts it away. 2 up, 2 down in the second. Nice work by Reardon. Fell behind, 3-1. Came back to get him on the flyout. Reardon will look to match Dominguez with a 1-2-3 inning.
Second baseman, number 27, Nathan Moonen.
Nathan Moonen has 100% of the Olivet Nazarene hits during this doubleheader so far. He went 2 for 2 with a walk and a couple of singles in game 1. And he takes strike 1. Moonen entered play today with just a .241 batting average, but he was the only one who could figure out Kevin Mampy in that first contest. Ball low, 1-1 the count. Fly ball down the right field line. Schoonover on the run, makes a sliding grab. Nice play by Travis Schoonover, and the inning is over. 1-2-3 go the Tigers. To the bottom of the second we go. No score.
number 27, Anthony Farron.
No score, bottom of the second inning. Terry Bonadonna with you on the call for today's St. Francis Olivet Nazarene doubleheader. Saints took game 1 4-0. Anthony Farron takes ball 1 high to begin his at-bat. Farron was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance in game 1. Later on in the contest, he struck out and flew out, went 0 for 2 in total. The count is 1-1 on him right now. Canuel Dominguez went 1-2-3 in the first inning, looking for more of the same in the second. Farron takes a strike, get the belt. It's 1-2. Kevin Rada, Michael Queerum waiting in the wings. Sean Harper will bat if anybody reaches base for the Saints. Ball low and away, 2-2. Farron taps it foul. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Both teams hitless so far. Took Olivet until the 5th inning in game 1 before they had their first line in the hits column. Finished with just 2, so they've got 2 hits in 9 innings of baseball in the doubleheader. Fouled away. It's still 2-2. Dominguez into the windup. Farron chops it on the ground to the right side. Diving stop by the second baseman. Noonan throws to first in time. Nathan Noonan, great defensive effort. He's had quite a day. The only one with a hit on offense and an excellent defensive play now robs Anthony Farron of a base hit. 4 up, 4 down against Dominguez. It'll be Kevin Rada's turn. Saints trying to sweep this doubleheader, something that they most recently did last Thursday, March 29th, as Rada flies this ball out to right center field. Converging on it, Boltice and Reno, and Boltice, the right fielder, makes the grab. So 1-pitch fly out for Kevin Rada. 2 down in the second, and Michael Queerum will come up.
Third baseman number 16, Michael Queerum.
Queerum playing third base here in game 2 as a shortstop in game 1. He takes the ball up high. At the plate in game 1, he went 0 for 2, but he did walk once. Hits this ball hard on the ground, right at the shortstop. Campbell has it, he throws to first, and it's a quick second inning. 1, 2, 3, go the Saints. 2 down, 7 to go. We have no score. Top of the third inning. Olivet Nazarene up to bat, no score. No hits for either side yet. Just one base runner. R.J. Reno walked and made it as far as third base in the first inning. But through two, he's the only man to run the bases at all. Here's Carter Ferguson leading off the third and taking the first pitch for a strike. Ferguson started game one, went 0 for 3. 2 groundouts and a strikeout. He'll be followed by Ryan Campbell, and then back to the top of the order, and Alex Kempe. Swing and a miss. Ferguson out in front of the breaking ball. It's 0-2. Reardon has 1 strikeout so far in the game. Looking for number 2. The right-hander winds and deals. Swing and a miss. Got him on the fastball. Nice job mixing up speeds and locations there for John Reardon. His 2nd strikeout of the game. Interestingly, both of his strikeouts have come against the leadoff batter of an inning, and they've both been on just 3 pitches.
6, Ryan Campbell.
Ryan Campbell now the batter. Shortstop Ryan Campbell. He went 0 for 2 with a K in game 1. No bat yet here in game 2, but he takes ball 1 outside to start things off. Next pitch is swung on and lifted out to left field. Backing up, Sean Harper. Harper makes the catch. 2 outs. Seen some solid contact from Olivet, not just in this game, but in game 1. A couple of deep fly balls, but nothing seems to drop. The only 2 hits they've got in the doubleheader, both off the bat of Nathan Moon. One was a little blooper out to right center field. The other was a hot shot to the left side that deflected off the glove of Noah Carraro, who was playing third base at the time. But nothing that's been hit in the air has been able to fall for them. Campy takes ball 1 up and in. I should amend that statement somewhat. Both hits were technically in the air, but I'm talking mostly about fly balls. They've had some deep flies that just haven't gone anywhere. Alex Campy is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. This is just the 7th pitch of the inning from John Reardon. Flown out to left field, down the line. Harper chases it into the corner. Harper is out of room. That's foul. 1-1. Alex Campy did not start game 1 of the doubleheader, and his start here in game 2 might have something to do with the injured Tanner McLean. McLean, who is one of their more successful hitters on the season, had to leave in just the first inning of game 1 after colliding with the wall down the right field line. 1-1. Bunted, third base side. It's a good bunt. Picked up by Quirin, but he's got no play. Infield hit for Alex Campy. It comes on a bunt with 2 outs. And he is aboard in front of R.J. Reno. First hit of the game for either side.
Center fielder number 7.
Perfect bunt for Campy.
Reno.
Alex Campy, just a .259 hitter coming in. But he uses his guile to reach base here. I'm just disappointed that Campy didn't start game 1 because we didn't get any Campy versus Mampy showdowns. Their names spelled the same way, save for 1 letter. Ball inside, runner goes, and he's safe. 5th steal of the year for Alex Campy in 8 attempts. The count is 1-0 on R.J. Reno, and now there's a man in scoring position with 2 outs. And Olivet really threatening to score for the first time today. Left-handed batter Reno swings on 1-0 and flies it to shallow center. Mahalik started in, now takes a few steps back. He puts that away and ends the inning. A bunt single and a stolen base put a little scare into John Reardon and company, but nothing comes of it as the Tigers strand a man at second. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd, 0-0. first 3 innings, Olivet Nazarene's gotten a couple of men in scoring position, but they haven't scored. St. Francis, no base runners through 2. They'll try to change that with the bottom of the order. Harper, Dabrowski, Peterson due up, and Sean Harper takes strike 1 from Kenuel Dominguez. In game 1 of the doubleheader, the Tigers had just 1 runner reach scoring position all game. They never had a man at third. Strike called. It's 0-2. Here in game 2, they've had 2 men in scoring position and 1 of them on third, but nobody home yet. It's the only thing that really matters is there's a ball outside. 1-2 on Sean Harper. Harper, 248 hitter entering play today. He swings and grounds it to short. Scooped up cleanly by Campbell, who throws over to first for the out. Seven up, 7 down. Against Kenuel Dominguez so far. He's got 1 strikeout. 3 of the outs have been recorded on the ground. 2 flyouts to the outfield and 1 liner to third. Here's Nick Dabrowski, DHing. Getting his first at bat of the day. Dabrowski hitting .300 this season. He's 9 for 30 at the plate, and he takes strike 1. DHing and batting 8th here in the second game. Senior takes the ball. It's 1-1. Righty versus righty. Dabrowski tries to check his swing but can't stop himself. Oh, it may have been in the zone anyway. Good breaking ball. And the count is 1-2. Kenuel Dominguez off to an impressive start. He's gotten 7 in a row. He's getting ahead of hitters consistently. Now the 1-2, chasing him for strike 3. Not a great at bat for Dabrowski, who tried to stop himself on the 1-1 pitch, but went around. And on 1-2, that ball, not what he was expecting. As it tailed out of the strike zone, he went fishing. Second strikeout of the game for Dominguez. Here's Johnny Peterson. Peterson takes ball 1 low. John Peterson, freshman reserve infielder, who is not a reserve in this game, making his 9th start of the year, hitting .258 for the year. He takes a strike. It's 1-1. Dominguez is working quickly. He's throwing strikes. A recipe for success for a lot of guys, and certainly that has been the case for him today. Chopper left side. Charging it as the third baseman. Glove by Kippen. Throws to first. It's low, but a nice pick on the other end by Ben Hill. And the inning is over. 1-2-3 go the Saints. We'll head to the 4th inning. A third of the way through this game, and not much action so far. We're scoreless.
Off the Olivet Nazarene, 4th inning.
Olivet Nazarene up in the 4th inning. We've got no score. We've had just 1 hit and 2 total base runners through 3 innings. We'll see if Olivet can do anything the second time through the order. It's the 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up here. Curtis Minton, Ben Hill, and Sam Kippen. And Minton takes strike 1. Curtis Minton 0 for 1 in the game and 0 for 4 in the doubleheader so far. Go out to right field back in the first inning against John Reardon, who's been cruising through 3. Swaying at him, it's 0-2. Not cruising quite as smoothly as Kenuel Dominguez, who has not allowed a base runner and has thrown seemingly nothing but strikes through 3 innings. Reardon has allowed a walk and a hit through the first 3, but so far, nothing more than that. And a nice, quick 3rd inning. A single was involved, but he had a strikeout and still managed to throw just 10 pitches to record the 3 outs. 0-2. Fouled away. Still 0-2 on Minton. Curtis Minton, sometimes catcher, sometimes outfielder. He is a senior. Originally from Decatur, Illinois. Righty versus righty. Here comes the 0-2. Not yet. He steps off the rubber. And the catcher, Kevin Rada, will head out and have a quick conversation with him. John Reardon, like Kevin Mampy, came into this season with some high hopes as a pitcher. And like Kevin Mampy, he has struggled a little bit more than he would have expected. Mampy came in today with a 6 even ERA. Reardon's was at 5.2. Both men have pitched really well in their starts today, though. There's a tapper. Back to the mound. Nice diving play by Reardon. He gathers himself and throws to first in time for the out. If that ball had gotten through, it certainly would have been playable for Kevin Mampy. But I'm not sure the shortstop would have had enough time to throw to first in order to retire Minton. It would have been a tough play. It would have been very close, I think, at first base. It's usually not a smart play for the pitcher to make a dive at it like that, because usually he's just going to deflect it away from one of his infielders. But John Reardon is an infielder whenever he's not pitching. He knows his way around a ground ball with the best of them. He made some great defensive plays in Game 1 and an excellent one from the pitcher's mound here in Game 2. So 1 out in the 4th inning, and Ben Hill takes ball 1 outside. Hill is 0 for 1 of the game. Flew out to center field to end the 1st inning. He bats with 1 out and nobody on in the top of the 4th. There's a ball inside. It's 2-0. Game 1 was 4-0 St. Francis. They scored all 4 runs in the first 2 innings. 2-0 pitch, foul back. So including the first 3 innings now in this game, we've seen 8 straight go by without any runs crossing the plate for either team. Two and 1 the count on Hill, the cleanup batter for Olivet Nazarene. Right-handed hitting first baseman. Takes ball 3. Count is 3-1. Hill in the driver's seat here, trying to work his way on base in front of the 3rd baseman, Sam Kippen, who takes his cuts on deck. 3-1 pitch from Reardon. Swung on, lifted foul, right side, and Anthony Farron watches that sail out of play. 41 degrees showing on the scoreboard right now, and that's as warm as it's been all day. Certainly right now a lot warmer for the fans and players down that first base line and in the first base dugout, the home side. Olivet Nazarene Tigers, along with their fans sitting down the 3rd base line, probably a little bit chillier. Fly ball deep center field, long run back Mahalik. He can't get to it. Out in right center field, it's cut off by Mahalik, and he'll send it back to the infield, but not before Hill pulls up at second with a 1-out double. Ben Hill has the first extra base hit of the day for the Olivet Nazarene Tigers and their first non-infield hit of this 2nd game. It's the 14th double this season for Hill, which is most on the team. And he's another man in scoring position. 3rd time in 4 innings this evening that the Tigers have had a man in scoring position, this time with only 1 out. And Sam Kippen in the box, 0 for 1. He popped out his first time up. This time he takes ball 1 in the dirt. Tigers had a runner at second with only 1 out in the 1st inning as well. They advanced him to 3rd base on a flyout, but left him there. Fouled back by Kippen. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Top of the 4th inning, no score. We're playing 9 here. Game 1 was just a 7-inning contest, but Game 2 is part of this doubleheader. Goes the full 9. One. Throw to second instead and nearly into center field. John Peterson dove off the bag back towards his left to stop that ball from sailing into the outfield, which would have given Ben Hill an extra base. Not a bad idea coming in there, but Ben Hill dove back to the bag, and the throw was well to the first base side. Ball inside, 2-1. So Peterson saved disaster, but only for the time being. The Tigers can still get a run or two out of this if Kippen gets on base. Only 1 out in the inning. Kippen flies it into right. Schoonover steps back, now comes in. Schoonover camps under that ball, makes the catch. Ben Hill tags but decides not to advance. And there are 2 outs. Last hope for the Tigers this inning is their right fielder, Jacob Boltice.
Right fielder, number 25, Jacob Boltice.
Boltice went 0 for 3 game 1. 0 for 1 game 2. Trying to come up with the first RBI hit of the game with a man at second and 2 outs against John Reardon. He swings the first pitch and fouls it away. Olivet wearing their visiting gray uniforms here with purple highlights. Saints in their home whites with brown and gold accents. The 0-1. Down low, ball 1. The count is even. Nathan Moonen is on deck. He's been the best hitter all day for Olivet Nazarene. Reardon trying to attack Boltice and not allow him on here in a big moment. Pickoff throw to second, and they nearly had him, but the ball was dropped by Kevin Mampey. I'm not sure he would have been out even if he had hung on. I think Ben Hill probably got back to the bag just ahead of the would-be tag. But it's a moot point because the ball was dropped by Mampey. Still 1-1 on Boltice. He swings and puts a charge into left field, but it's playable. Stepping in, Sean Harper makes the catch and ends the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left at second base. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. 0-0. No score, bottom of the 4th inning. Tigers threatened in the top of the frame, putting a runner at second base with only 1 out, but left him there. Saints haven't threatened at all yet in this game. They don't have a base runner. 9 up, 9 down against Kenuel Dominguez. We'll see what they can do off of him the second time through the order. Travis Schoonover bunts foul, strike 1. Any way he could get on base, Schoonover trying to manufacture something. He's 0 for 1. He lined out to the third baseman his first time up. Ball outside, 1-1. Dominguez hasn't been overpowering. He's only got 2 strikeouts. But he just seems to get ahead of everybody and force soft contact everywhere. Ball low and away, a rare hitter's count. It's 2-1. Schoonover, the leading hitter on the team at 347. He added 2 more hits to his total in game 1. Foul tipped, it's 2-2. Two and two, the pitch from Dominguez. Fouled away. 5 pitches already in this at bat for Schoonover through 3 innings. Dominguez had thrown only 36 pitches. But he's working a little bit harder than that so far in the 4th. Ball up and in, 3-2. First 3-ball count since the first inning. Hasn't walked anybody yet, has not allowed any base runners. Schoonover trying to change that. He lifts it out to left field, sending Alex Campy backing up. Campy makes the grab. So Schoonover is retired. He's 0 for 2. And Pat Mahalik is the hitter.
Center fielder number 10, Pat Mahalik.
Mahalik is 0 for 1. He struck out swinging in the first inning, 1 of 2 strikeouts so far for Dominguez. Ball outside. Well, Dominguez, for as good as he is, and he came in today with a 2.93 ERA, so he is very good. He's never been much of a strikeout pitcher, just 34 and 43 innings coming in. Swing and a miss, 1-1. And with 2 and 3 in a third inning so far in this game, he's kind of right around the same pace. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Nobody on, no score, bottom of the 4th inning. Swing and a miss, 1-2. It's been an extremely well-pitched doubleheader in Crestwood, Illinois today. Only 2 half innings have featured any runs at all. Ball low, 2-2. Bottom of the 1st and bottom of the 2nd of game 1. Other than that, we've had 21 half innings and no runs. Fly ball foul, left side. Long run for Campy, and he watches it land in the seats. Still 2-2. He's already thrown more pitches this inning than had been his average over the first 3 innings. And now he misses outside to Mahalik, and the count is 3-2. This is the 14th pitch of the inning. Still only 1 out. Fouled away. Just 1 line shows on the scoreboard right now. It's in the hits column for Olivet Nazarene. Everything else up there, zeros. Another 3-2. Swung on and missed. He got it. Mahalik strikes out swinging for the 2nd time. Dominguez has 3 strikeouts in the game, and he gets to face Kevin Mampy with nobody on base. And 2 outs.
Kevin Mampy.
Mampy is 0 for 1. He flew out to left field. Had a big 2-run double back in game 1. He takes a strike. Still relatively early in this game, but the lack of offense is starting to become a story. Strike called, 0-2. To make it almost 4 full innings with only 1 total hit. That's something you don't see every day. Ground ball to short. Picked up by Campbell. The throw to first is in time to retire Mampy. And it is another 1-2-3 frame for Dominguez. Kenuel Dominguez has faced 12 batters. He's retired them all. We head to the 5th. No score. Bottom of the order for Olivet in the 5th. Nathan Moonen, Carter Ferguson, Ryan Campbell set to face John Reardon. Scoreless tie through 4. There's just one hit. Belongs to Olivet Nazarene. Specifically, belongs to Ben Hill. Actually, I take that back. Only one hit showing on the scoreboard, but should be 2 hits as Moonen rolls it weakly down the third base line. Picked up by Quirum. Throw to first is wild. Rounding first and heading to second is Moonen. And the leadoff man is in scoring position for Olivet Nazarene. That's a costly error in a tight pitcher's duel like this. I imagine he'll get credit for a hit there. Very tough play for the charging Quirum. But it was the throw to first that allowed him to advance to second base as it bounced in and then skipped away from Anthony Farron. First error committed today by either team. That's the 3rd hit for Olivet Nazarene. So for the 4th time today, Olivet has had a man in scoring position. In fact, they've only had 4 total base runners, but everyone who has reached base has made it at least as far as second. New batter. Carter Ferguson is not going to hit for himself. It's going to be Cameron Craver instead.
Number 9, Cameron
Craver has a .278 batting average in limited action this year. He's 5 of 18. And perhaps a bunter here. We're still only in the 5th inning, but the way that Dominguez has gone, would not be surprised if Olivet just wanted to play for 1 run here. He is bunting, and he bunts it foul behind home plate for strike 1. Dominguez has retired all 12 batters that he's faced, and you can't necessarily count on that continuing, but the way this has gone so far, I think either one of these teams, should they pick up a run, would feel not comfortable, but very good about where they stand with even just 1 run. Keep in mind as well, those shadows are creeping in. Craver takes a ball, pickoff throw down to second base from Rada, not nearly in time. It's 1-1. Usually becomes a pitcher's advantage late in the afternoon when the clouds roll in, or I should say the shadows roll in. No clouds here. Bunted back towards the pitcher. Tough play for Reardon. Barehanded. Thrown to first in time. Nice play by Reardon. As the third baseman Quirum would normally have played that ball, he went back to third to cover the bag. Anthony Farron was prepared to cut across the diamond. Wasn't able to get there quickly enough. It was all up to Reardon, and he made the play perfectly to get the out at first base. That said, Craver's sacrifice attempt is successful, and there is now a man at third base with only 1 out for Ryan Campbell. So mission accomplished for Craver and the Tigers. Now they can get their first run on the board. Ryan Campbell takes a strike over the outside corner. Campbell flew out to left his first time up. He's 0 for 1. He is a .307 hitter this season. And now Brian Mahalik comes out to the mound to have a little discussion. The entire infield, along with catcher Kevin Rada, all converge on the mound. Talking strategy at the moment, I suppose.
Scores from around the CCAC from earlier this afternoon.
The man at third base.
In game number 1 of a doubleheader.
And only 1 out. A fly ball from Campbell would get the run in. Ground ball might. On that first pitch, stayed the infield about halfway in. We'll see if they change things after the meeting with Brian Mahalik. Does look like they are going to pull the infield in. Well, the middle infielders still about halfway. The corner infielders are in on the grass. 0-1 on Ryan Campbell. Campbell 0 for 3 in the doubleheader thus far. He takes a strike, gets 0-2. Reardon's a pretty good strikeout pitcher. He's got only 2 of them today, but he had 40 in 45 innings pitched coming in. This would be a huge spot for one, and he's already got an 0-2 count on the number 9 hitter, Campbell. Next pitch is swung on and popped up behind home plate and out of play. Still 0-2. Alex Campy, the leadoff man, is on deck. But the game is in the batter's box right now. A potentially huge run over at third base with only 1 out in the 5th. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Foul away again. Campbell is doing a good job of staying alive. Still behind in the count, though. Reardon just hasn't yet been able to put him away. The inning began with an infield single for Nathan Moonen. Moved to second on an error and to third on a sacrifice bunt. Now the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike three. Campbell just did actually get a piece of that ball. He tipped it back into the catcher's glove. Third strikeout of the game for John Reardon, and a big one.
Left fielder, number 2, Alex Campy.
And now with 2 outs and a man at third, the batter is Alex Campy. Campy is 1 for 2. A bunt single his last time up. He also stole a bag, but he struck out swinging in the first inning. And Reardon doesn't need to strike out here. Any out will do. Strike called. This game has been much higher pressure for Reardon than it has for his counterpart Dominguez. Dominguez has retired all 12 batters. Reardon has had to pitch with a man in scoring position in 4 out of the 5 innings he's been out there. Strike called. It's 0-2. And in 3 of the 4 cases, a man in scoring position with less than 2 outs. In this inning, it was a man at second base with nobody out, and at third with only 1 out. Now the 0-2 pitch with 2 outs is fouled away by Campy. The count remains the same. St. Francis will have their middle of the order coming up in the bottom of the 5th inning, and they'll have it with a little bit of momentum if Reardon can get out of this inning unscathed. 0-2 on Alex Campy, right-hander versus right-hander. The pitch coming up, and Campy takes a ball high. It's 1-2. 3 hits in the game for Olivet, although it's worth noting only 1 of them has left the infield. Reardon has walked 1 and struck out 3. One-two pitch. Just off the inside corner. A couple of Saints thought that they had the final out of the inning right there, but it will go on. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a man at third base. Tie game in the top of the 5th inning. It's been a long 5th for John Reardon, but he's 1 strike away from ending it. Popped up, foul, and out of play. Good at bat here for Campy, staying alive. That's his second 2-strike foul of the at bat. Mooney, who stands at third base, now has 3 hits in the doubleheader. The rest of the team has combined for 2. Strike 3 called over the outside corner. Campy goes down looking, and John Reardon, with a man at third base and only 1 out, comes up huge with back-to-back Ks. The inning is over. We've played half a ball game here in Crestwood, and yet nothing on the scoreboard yet. No score between St. Francis and Olivet Nazarene. St. Francis and Olivet Nazarene tied up 0-0 as we start the bottom of the fifth. Anthony Farron hacks at the first pitch and fouls it away. Fighting Saints pitching now has gone 12 scoreless innings to start off this doubleheader. Kevin Mampy and John Reardon have been fantastic. Ground ball to short, hit by Farron. Backhanded stop by Campbell. Throw to first is in time. One away. 13 up, 13 down against Kenuel Dominguez. Here's Kevin Rada. Rada is 0 for 1. He's flown out to right field. Quite frankly, the Tigers pitching staff isn't that far behind St. Francis. They gave up 4 runs the first 2 innings, and by they I mean Graham Burke. But only 2 of those 4 runs were earned. And nothing since. Ball outside, 1-0. That means 8 consecutive scoreless innings have been notched by the Tigers staff. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Three strikeouts in the game for Dominguez. He's kept the ball on the ground a lot. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Shortstop Ryan Campbell's had a busy second game. He's got 4 assists. There have been 6 ground outs in total of the first 13 outs. Check swing, he did not go. A pitch in the dirt, and the count is now 2-2 on Rada. Those shadows that I was talking about last inning have crept in beyond home plate. Not quite at a position, I don't think, where it becomes too difficult for the batter to see. The batter's still in sunlight, even though the plate is in shadow. And Rada's hit by the pitch on 2-2. Kevin Rada hit on the leg, and he'll take his base. First base runner of the game for the Saints. And a potentially costly mistake committed there by Kenuel Dominguez. One out, one on, and Michael Quirum steps in. Quirum has a .346 batting average this year. Throw to first base, sends the runner back to the bag. And he's been better as a pitcher. It's tough to say better than .346, but he's been their best starting pitcher on the season. 2.80 ERA. Has not always started as a batter. There's a bunt on the third base line. It's a good bunt. Barehanded by Kippen, but no play at first base. Bunt single for Quirum. It is the first hit of the game for St. Francis. And they've got 2 men on with only 1 out for Sean Harper. Quirum picks up his first hit of the game. His first hit of the doubleheader. His 19th hit of the season. Again, he came in hitting .346, but in limited action offensively. He's had more action as a pitcher. Just 52 total at-bats coming into play today. Sean Harper takes the ball outside. Wouldn't be stunning to see Harper bunting here either. He's got good speed. And a sacrifice would advance, go ahead and run to third base. However, there would be 2 outs then. Nick Dabrowski stands on deck. 1-0 pitch. Tapped foul, 1-1. Even if they don't score this inning, and they're certainly in position where they would like to, and like to think they have a chance to do so. You get a few men on base, you turn the lineup over a little bit, give more chances to your big hitters coming up later in the game. That ball is golfed out to shallow right field. Charging in, Boltice makes a sliding grab. 2 down. Nice play by Boltice, keeping the runners where they are. Quirum at first, Rada at second. No score at the bottom of the 5th. 2 outs for Nick Dabrowski. Dabrowski struck out swinging against Kenuel Dominguez back in the first, or rather the 3rd inning, his first time up. We've now seen a total of 4 hits in this game. 3 of them have stayed on the infield. 2 bunt singles, another infield hit. And one double to deep right center for Ben Hill. That's the only hit that has not stayed on the infield grass. The fake grass here anyway in Crestwood. It's an artificial turf field, the home of the Windy City Thunderbolts. Saints are trying to get used to playing on this artificial turf because it'll be installed in their home ballpark any day now. That's the reason that we're playing here today. St. Francis still waiting for the completion of that turf installation at Route 66 Stadium in Joliet. Dabrowski still awaiting the first pitch from Dominguez, and now finally Dominguez is in the set position. Strike one called. With one out, Kevin Rada fell behind in the count 1-2. It looked like Dominguez was on his way to working another easy inning, but he hit Rada. Quirin had a bunt single. They're on second and first respectively with 2 outs. Ball outside, 1-1. Sean Harper flew out to shallow right field. That was a big out. And a nice play as well by Jacob Boltheis, who came in and made a sliding grab on it. One and one. Dominguez is set. Righty versus righty. Popped up, foul to the right side. That is out of play. One and two. This is a big opportunity for the Saints here. They had runners at first and second with only 1 out. The scoring chances have been difficult to come by against Dominguez in this game, so you don't want to squander one when you do get it. We remain scoreless 0-0, but Olivet's had the better opportunities than the Saints have in this game. Dominguez steps off the rubber to look Rada back to second base. Actually, it isn't Rada over at second. Rada's pinch run for it because he's the catcher. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. The inning is over. There's Noah Carraro at second base, just for the record, but the inning is over. Dabrowski strikes out, and a big strikeout at a big moment for Kenuel Dominguez. Saints get their first hit of the game, but leave 2. They don't score. We head to the 6th. 0-0.
The center fielder, number 7, R.W. Reno.
Olivet Nazarene got out of a big jam in the bottom of the 5th, and now they bat in the top of the 6th with their heart of the order. R.J. Reno, Curtis Minton, and Ben Hill due up against John Reardon, who's pitched a fine ball game so far. Reno takes ball 1 inside. We're underway in the 6th. R.J. Reno walked and was left at third base back in the first inning. One of 2 men to be left at third in the game for Olivet. One of 4 men stranded in scoring position. Ball up and away, 2-0. He flew out to center field his last time up. In fact, he's the one who stranded a runner in scoring position in the 3rd when he flew out with the man at second. Inside, 3-0. Reardon doesn't want to walk the leadoff man here. That kind of goes without saying. Nobody ever wants to walk a leadoff man, but After he pitched out of a tough spot in the 5th inning, there was a man at third with only 1 out, and he was able to get a strikeout of the number 9 hitter Campbell, and then a strikeout of the leadoff man Campy. I'd like to see him ride that momentum into this inning, keep pumping those strikes. He fell behind 3-0. Now it's 3-1. The right-hander will wind up for the next pitch. And miss high for ball 4. A leadoff walk, second walk issued today by Reardon. Both times it's been Reno.
13, Curtis Minton.
Here's Curtis Minton. Minton is 0 for 2. He has flown out to right field. He's grounded out to the pitcher. Reardon made a really nice diving play on that ground out. Looking for a ground ball again right here. Reardon steps off the rubber to look the base runner back to first. And time is called in the batter's box. First pitch to Minton. Flown out to right field, fouling out of play. Quirin was playing in, guarding against a bunt. Minton, the number 3 hitter for Olivet Nazarene. There are a couple different ways you can look at this. On one hand, you can say runs have been hard to come by, so if we get a man on base, we want to move him as well as we can. So if we have to give out an out to do that, maybe we do it with a bunt. The other way to look at it is runs have been really difficult to come by, so you don't want to waste your number 3 hitter with a bunt. Minton, maybe not your prototypical number 3 hitter in that he does not possess a lot of power, no home runs this season. He does have 1 sacrifice bunt, and Minton will conference with Reno and the coaching staff as they all meet down the third base line. Count is 0-1. There's a runner at first base with nobody out. For as well as Reardon has pitched in this game, he only does have 1 1-2-3 inning. He's been in trouble pretty much every frame, but he's been able to pitch out of it. He's thrown 78 pitches in 5+ innings. He's allowed 3 hits, although again, only 1 of them has actually left the infield. He's also walked 2 batters. It's 0-1 on Minton. We're ready to continue, and Minton takes a strike. It's 0-2. And with that, Quirin backs up behind the bag at third. Shadows are firmly placed in between home plate and the pitcher's mound. That makes it a little bit more difficult for the batter to pick up the spin of the ball out of the pitcher's hand. So I'd say advantage pitcher perhaps over the next few innings, but the fact is it's been advantage pitcher all day. We've seen only 4 total runs scored in 12 innings in this doubleheader. Bunted foul for strike 3. There's a bit of a stunner.
Was that the offensive timeout call?
Minton, the number 3 hitter, came up with a runner at first base and nobody out. They not surprisingly elected not to bunt